Is this your first involvement with the ensemble?
This is, yeah, the first time I'm playing with the actual ensemble, because I had the connection earlier with Andrew, playing with him around town and putting my record out on their label. But this is the first time I'm playing with the group.
And first time you have a composition.
Yeah, this is the first time I have a composition for the ensemble in any form, and also it's the first time I've written a large ensemble work in about 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's an interesting program concept.
It is. I'm excited for it. I was a big fan of Kandinsky when I was an undergrad at San Diego State, and so it was kind of cool to revisit some of the paintings, and I was glad I got my first choice on the painting. I didn't have to dig around and find something else, so it was nice.
What was the painting?
It's called Several Circles, and I really liked it, and for the concept that was proposed and that we were to undergo, it seemed like that one, for me, was the easiest one to orally paint.
What is the concept?
It's to create, so they selected, the programming committee for the PJCE selected 4 paintings because of Kandinsky's love of jazz music and his concept of improvisation with painting. And they wanted us to paint orally with music what we felt from the paintings. So it was just my job to give a soundtrack to a painting.
How do you do that?
What I did in mine is I had a digital file and I had it up on my computer. I went to full screen and I picked up my acoustic guitar and I just kind of started playing, and then I eventually found something that I latched onto, and from that it was just like a simple arpeggiated pattern with one chord, and from there it exploded into the large ensemble piece that is going to be premiered.
When you say large, how large do you mean?
Well, there's 6 in the core sextet, and then it's augmented by, I believe, 6 additional. I haven't counted. I scored it for flute, tenor saxophone, bari saxophone, horn, French horn, bass trombone, and I believe that's it off the top of my head. And then the core sextet has piano, bass, drums, guitar, Tom Barber on trumpet, and Lee Elderton on clarinet. So it's definitely got some chamber orchestration to it, which is one of the mission concepts or in the mission statement for the PJC, with flute, clarinet, French horn, bass trombone. It's got some Western art music influence in there.
So how is the ensemble doing now that Andrew Oliver is over in England eating bad food?
And drinking warm beer, right?
Yeah, really.
Well, yeah, Andrew split town, and he left really good framework for the PJCE to keep going. And I've been involved with him now as the guitar player and a composer, but also had interactions with them through my record on their label, and I'm also doing volunteer work for the organization currently. And it doesn't seem like they lost a lot of steam. There's still a lot of energy behind it, and I know that they're currently looking for a replacement for Andrew as far as vision and leadership. So I think that it's going to keep going on strong, and I hope it does.
Yeah. I interviewed him just before he left, and he didn't seem like he was coming back.
It doesn't sound that way. Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's coming back. I think he'll probably stay involved somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always probably going to be welcome.
Yeah.
Since it was his.
Sure.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, speaking of your record, it's been out for a couple of months, right?
Yeah. Released October 15th.
Yeah. And now that it's out and stuff, how are you feeling about it?
I'm happier with it now than the night that we did it. I was a little scared. I mean, I had a great time recording it, but I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to recordings and stuff, and I thought that there might be too many rough edges for it to be something that I was really proud of. I was going to put it out no matter what. That was part of the challenge of doing a live record, is walking the tightrope. So I was going to put it out, but I actually like it, and I like the sound that Russ Springer got, and yeah, I'm happy with the quality of the tunes, the playing for sure, not mine, but everyone else's. And yeah, everything came out.
And
really
those
well.
everyone else's are who?
George Colligan's on piano.
Yeah.
And Peter Epstein is on saxophone on that one. He plays alto and soprano.
Yeah.
And he was he basically grew up in the Portland area playing jazz and stuff. And my connection with him is through, I went to University of Nevada, Reno to get my master's, and because of him, I kind of sought out him, because he was like, when I was in New York, he was in New York just before me, and he was playing with all the people that I ended up playing with and idolizing and working with. So that was my connection. It was like Peter Epstein through Portland, through New York, through Reno. So, and then Chris Higgins is on bass, and Matt Mayhall's on drums.
Who is Matt Mayhall?
He is a drummer. There's a lot of interwoven threads in the instrumentation of this, and that was kind of part of the concept behind the live album as well. Matt Mayhall went to the University of Nevada, Reno, so there was that connection. He wasn't there when I was there, but when I was there, his brother was an undergrad bass player, so I knew his brother. And Mayhall doesn't have a New York connection like seemingly everyone else on the record. Yes, everyone else does. But he did have the Epstein connection. He's performed on a number of Epstein's projects in some way or another, and so it was nice to have like that UNR connection as well. And he's a drummer in a rock band called Spain, which is led by Charlie Hayden's son, Josh Hayden, and they have a lot of international success, so that was kind of cool. And fans of my prior works will recognize, the rock influences in my music. So it was nice to have a drummer that actually has that. But there's not a lot of rock on this album.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. If we were to preview one tune from the album, what do you think it should be?
Well, my favorite track is "Hard Times Come Again No More." It seems like most people that check it out, their favorite track is "Elle's Lullaby," which is at the end.
Well, Hard Times, that's not Ray Charles' Hard Times.
I don't know. Well, I don't think so. I haven't heard Ray Charles' version, but it's it may be the same tune. It's the one that I did is a reharmonization of Stephen Foster's "Hard Times Come Again No More," which has been done a lot. Because it's 160 years old.
So what was the challenge? Why if it's been done so many times, what was the challenge for you?
Well, I didn't know that it had been done so many times. And I actually found out that Bill Frisell did it, and I'm basically doing my poor man's Bill Frisell on it, and I didn't really know that until after I recorded it, so that was embarrassing. But I still like it. It's good take on the tune. The reason I chose that tune is I always wanted to do a Stephen Foster song ever since I was going to UNR, and a teacher of mine, so the story behind this one, a teacher of mine, I wanted to do Swanee River, but the teacher was like, well, you probably shouldn't do that song because there's like a lot of racially not cool stuff in that one. I was like, yeah, but I'm not singing or anything, but he steered me away. He gave me a songbook, and I found this other one that had great lyrics, and the melody was great, and it was "Hard Times Come Again No More." But it was like really simple harmony, obviously, because it's, antebellum North song. So I reharmonized it using like a little bit hipper harmonies and so and then the feel is it's a special feel. It's kind of like country swing or something.
Well, why don't we let them listen to it right underneath this screen?
Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.